On a cold, rainy night, the neon lights of a rough biker bar flickered in the darkness. Engines roared, laughter echoed, and no one inside expected anything unusual to happen. But when the door slowly opened and a pregnant woman stepped inside, tired, scared, and desperate, every conversation stopped. She asked for help, and the men everyone feared most were suddenly faced with a choice that would change all of their lives. What they decided to do that night is something no one in that town ever forgot. Like and subscribe to Heartfelt Stories Hub. The rain had been falling for hours, turning the streets into rivers of shining reflections. Inside the old roadside biker bar known as the Iron Route, loud music filled the room while a group of bikers laughed, told stories, and argued over card games. Their leather jackets, heavy boots, and roaring motorcycles had given them a reputation across the town. Most people avoided them. Some feared them. Among them sat Jake, the quiet leader of the group. He wasn't the loudest or the toughest-looking man in the room, but when he spoke, everyone listened. Jake had seen a lot in life: loss, mistakes, and second chances. And tonight, he just wanted a quiet evening with his brothers. Then the door creaked open. At first, no one noticed the woman standing there. She looked small against the storm behind her. Her coat was soaked, her hair clung to her face, and one hand rested protectively on her stomach. She was clearly pregnant. The music kept playing for a few seconds until someone near the door turned and froze. Soon the entire room fell silent. The woman took a few slow steps inside. Her eyes were filled with fear, but also determination. She had clearly walked a long distance through the rain. "I'm sorry," she said softly, her voice shaking. "I didn't know where else to go." Some of the bikers exchanged confused looks. This was the last place anyone would expect a pregnant woman to walk into. The town had painted these men as dangerous outsiders. Trouble. People who lived outside the law. Jake slowly stood up. "What happened?" he asked calmly. The woman hesitated, as if deciding whether she could trust the strangers in front of her. Finally, she spoke. "My name is Emily. My car broke down miles away, my phone died, and I think someone has been following me." The room became even quieter. Rain thundered outside. One of the bikers muttered, "Following you?" Emily nodded, fear visible on her face. "I tried knocking on houses, but no one opened the door. Then I saw the lights here." For a moment, no one moved. The situation felt strange, unexpected. But something in Emily's expression, her exhaustion, the way she held her stomach, the way she stood there alone, changed the mood of the entire room. Jake walked closer. "You're safe here," he said. Those 4 words changed everything. A biker named Marcus quickly grabbed a chair and brought it over. Another brought a blanket. Someone else turned down the music. The bartender poured a warm drink, not alcohol, just something hot to help her calm down. Emily sat down slowly, clearly relieved but still nervous. "Thank you," she whispered. Jake looked at the men around him. Most people saw bikers as rough, angry, and unpredictable. But the truth was different. Many of them had families. Many had daughters, and something about this moment reminded them of that. Then suddenly, headlights flashed outside the bar windows. A car had pulled up. The room grew tense again. Emily's face turned pale. "That's the car," she whispered. The men looked at each other. Jake's eyes hardened slightly, not with anger, but with a quiet protective instinct. He walked toward the door. Outside, the storm raged harder. The car engine continued running, its light shining straight at the bar entrance. Jake stepped into the rain, followed by several bikers. Inside, Emily held the warm cup tightly, her heart racing. She had walked into a place she feared, but somehow, it might be the only place where she was truly safe, and what happened next would reveal a side of these men that the town had never seen before. The rain poured heavily as Jake and the bikers stood outside, facing the car. The engine continued to rumble, the headlights cutting through the darkness. Finally, the car door opened. A man stepped out. He looked nervous, not dangerous, just tense and uncertain. He raised his hand slightly when he saw the group of bikers standing there. "I'm not here for trouble," he said quickly. Jake crossed his arms, then started talking. The man glanced toward the bar door. "I'm looking for someone." Inside, Emily watched through the window, fear and confusion mixing together. Jake's voice was calm but firm. "Who?" The man took a deep breath. "My wife." The word hung in the air inside the bar. Emily gasped softly. The bikers looked back toward the window. Jake studied the man carefully. "You been following her?" The man shook his head quickly. "No. I was trying to catch up to her. We had an argument earlier. She drove away, and then her phone went off." I've been searching for hours. The tension slowly shifted. Jake opened the door and stepped aside slightly so Emily could hear. Emily, he called gently. You know this guy? Emily slowly stood up and walked toward the doorway. When she saw the man outside, her eyes filled with emotion. Daniel? The man looked relieved instantly. Emily, thank goodness. She stepped outside under the shelter of the bar roof. The bikers watched quietly. What are you doing here? She asked. Daniel looked ashamed. I shouldn't have yelled earlier. I was scared about the baby, about everything. When you left, I realized how wrong I was. The rain softened slightly, as if the storm itself was calming down. Emily's eyes softened too. I thought someone was chasing me, she admitted. I was terrified. Daniel shook his head gently. I just wanted to make sure you were safe. There was a long pause, then one of the bikers behind Jake spoke quietly. Looks like you both had a long night. A few small laughs broke the tension. Jake stepped forward. You two need to talk. But first, she's exhausted, and you both need somewhere warm. The bikers invited Daniel inside. It was a moment no one in town would have believed if they had seen it. A group of feared bikers quietly helping a young couple reconcile while making sure a pregnant woman was safe and comfortable. They helped charge Daniel's phone, called a mechanic friend to tow Emily's car, and even packed food for them before they left. Before leaving, Emily turned back to the group. I was scared when I walked in here, she said honestly. But tonight, you were the kindest people I met. Jake smiled slightly. Sometimes people judge the jacket, he said, tapping the leather on his shoulder, not the heart underneath. Months later, the couple returned to the bar, but this time, they brought someone new. A baby girl. The bikers, who once had a reputation for causing trouble, now stood quietly smiling as they held the tiny child. That night had changed something, not just for Emily and Daniel, but for everyone there. Word slowly spread through the town about what had really happened, and people began to realize something important. Kindness can come from the places you least expect. Sometimes the people the world misunderstands are the very ones who show up when it matters most. And that rainy night became a story the town told for years, a reminder that compassion can change how we see each other forever.